Hello, welcome to our very own channel, Ammu&You, where I am Ammu and I am here with another beautiful story to narrate to you. A Good Day, written by a very young author, Richa S. Chatterjee. Leave me alone. Those had been the last words I had said to her this morning. Just like that, unthinkingly. I had snapped at her, and for no fault of hers. I was worried about 3 simultaneous deadlines at work and the late nights I had been keeping for a while. I had ended up spending only one evening a week with her for the past couple of months, and when she gently brought it up last night, I picked a fight. We slept facing opposite walls. In the morning, she walked out after a bath and pulled my ear in conciliation. I was still seething and snapped. She banged the door on her way, muttering a good day under her breath. And this was before I could even reply back to her. I had taken the day off and had forgotten all about it until I saw her walk out of the door. Hemingway occupied most of my afternoon, and before I knew, I was thinking about her. It suddenly dawned upon me that she made my life so much simpler, that she knew just what to say and when to say it, and that I was a total jerk who probably didn't deserve her affection. I let that thought soak through my otherwise cluttered mind. Past office troubles and credit card bills, past coffee brand names, past visual plans for the upcoming weekend, and how I would make up for my behavior. And I thought of calling her. The first time, the call was dropped. The second time, the network was busy. And then my phone rang. I looked down, realizing it wasn't her. It was my mother calling from Hyderabad. Abhi, you're all right, no? I was getting so worried. She sounded frantic. Of course, Ma, I'm fine. What happened? Is Aditi okay? Thank God you both took the day off. But what's wrong, Ma? What happened? I asked. Arey, Abhi, there have been serial blasts all over. It's all over the news. Those bloody images of people crying out. But I'm so relieved. I couldn't get through earlier. I've been trying your number for over half an hour. I sighed and thought again. Where has it happened, Ma? Next to Aditi's office, Abhi, in the Maylord Towers. I went numb. My whole body reacted with a shiver. And in the middle of the crowded mall, everything went eerily silent. I'll call you back, I almost barked into the phone before cutting it, and I dialed Aditi's number again. But alas, there was no ring. I just ran. I heard the tearing wail of sirens before I saw the buildings. Traffic had been stopped a kilometer away from the scene, and I got out and rushed towards the building. Maylord Towers, top 5 floors were on fire, and the falling debris had crashed into her building. There were injured people being carried away, people with broken limbs, blood streaming down their faces, which still retained an expression of utter shock and disbelief. I gulped and hoped she would walk out any minute. I wanted to cry, to move, to save her from whatever she may be facing. But no thoughts would come to me. I stood there for a couple of minutes, trying to erect a solid barrier against the thoughts that were running in to flood my very being. One after the other, they hopped skipped and jumped over that feeble wall, and I felt myself struggling to stay afloat in that ocean of desolation. Was she hurt? Did she get out? Where is she? Why doesn't her goddamn phone work? Is she okay? Why was I so stupid? How do I get to her now? She can't be gone. She can't. I have to grow old with her. She must be at the police station. Wondering what to do, how to contact me. She didn't work on those floors. No, only the injured are being rescued now. So she must have got out. Is she hurt? Why didn't I tell her to take the day off? Why am I such a conceited, foolish man? Where the hell is she? I want to see her smile again. Oh, please, God, please help me. Please let this be over. Please get me to her. Please, oh please. She has to be at the station. She just has to be, I kept telling myself as I raced towards the police station hidden in the narrow lanes of SV Nagar. The police there had asked me to do so. Life here seemed unaffected, still carrying on its routine mechanically. Hawkers still cried out their wares. Half-naked children still ran out with their mothers chasing after them. The few foreigners who stopped in the flea market continued haggling with the hawkers. But all I was aware of was her stole in the back seat, the hairbrush she had forgotten in the car, and had spent 2 weeks searching for it. The smell of her perfume, which had lingered in the stale air, and the memory of her beautiful smile. I finally worked my way through the crowded back streets only to be greeted by more kiosks some 500 meters from where the station should have been. I finally parked the car in an alley and sprinted to the station. There were so many people gathered around the gate that I had to climb over the wall. The thought that it may be wrong was far from my mind by then. Finally, inside the door of the station, I saw more civilians than policemen. I sifted through the noisy crowd, and someone tugged at my sleeve. I turned to see a ghastly pale woman, aged perhaps 60, tugging at my sleeve with her pleading eyes. Have you seen my son? Have you? Behind a balding old man, stooped with age, gently took her arm and led her away, trying to console her as they headed towards the hospital. She kept turning in search of her lost son. I reached the man sitting with a register. He found 2 of the 3 names in the rescued list, while the 3rd one was in the injured list. Relieved, the other 3 fell back, and I fought to remain composed. He could not find her name. Her name, Aditi. I urged him to look again, and he did so tirelessly and thoroughly. He eventually found it, scribbled in pencil on the side of the rescued list, and smiled at me. Gasping for breath, I managed to ask, "Where are the rescued people?" To that, he shrugged his shoulders and said, "Around." And then I was swallowed by the crowd once more, and finally, 5 minutes later, soaked in sweat, I found myself outside the police station. I didn't feel a thing. I should have been elated, but I was not. I wanted to see her face, wanted to be sure that they had not scribbled her name in the wrong column of the tattered register. And then, next to the payphone counter, fighting the crowd around with all her might, was the answer to all my prayers. I screamed out in joy and exasperation, "Aditi, Aditi," as I flung myself into that faithless crowd. She heard me before she saw me, and she quit arguing. The people around her forced their way into the phone booth so that she suddenly found herself. in that crowd, on the edge of that swarming mass. And then she saw me and burst into tears. As I scrambled across to her, she cried, "I thought you would never come," and hugged me so tight that I felt breathless. I lifted her up and kissed her again and again. God, how close I had come. I held her even closer, never wanting to let her go. She had a few bruises, but seemed fine otherwise. I ushered her into the car and she collapsed into the passenger seat, exhausted beyond measure. Neither of us spoke for the time it took to get home. She just sat there with her eyes closed, breathing deeply, and I was just thankful for having her next to me, alive. How many others were not as lucky as me today? I was just wondering how many of them would return empty handed. How many were still offering prayers to their various gods, asking for mercy and help and hope. I looked at her again and again, making sure that she really was there, touching her arm, asking if she needed something. Finally, when we reached our apartment building, our watchman, who had newly learnt to speak English, opened the gate and said loudly, "Good day, sir." As we drove past, I nodded solemnly and sighed, knowing that it indeed was a good day today, at least for me. Words, greetings, are just our thoughts expressed through words. How much they mean to us and how often they come true. I hope you've liked the story, friends. Then please like, share, and subscribe. I would love to get your comments telling me how you like the story, this one especially. And thank you so much for all your love and support that you've been pouring for all these months. Thank you for listening to the story. I will come soon again with another one. Till then, bye bye, take care, and a good day to all of you.